Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Stage 4 of the 2015 USA Pro Challenge, presented today by Lexus. My name is Brad Soner, joined on stage, as always, by Dave Toll, as we look forward to another great day of racing as the Peloton makes their way out of beautiful Aspen and into Breckenridge.
125 miles of racing today. Boy, looking back to yesterday, how nice was it to see Keel Reinen get that hard-fought-for win here in Aspen. I tell you, that United Healthcare team. Happen to see the YouTube video of the team car in the last game? Yeah. Yep. I always enjoy watching that, as they obviously everybody's all in, invested in hoping their man can get the win, and when it happens, it's beautiful. That was a great day here in Aspen. So, Brad, obviously another big day today. We're about halfway through, getting close to, but really the business end of this race starts today.
Yeah, really no easy days here at the USA Pro Challenge, as they'll have more climbing heading out of Aspen today. Let's go back and talk about yesterday, as it became basically a 5-rider selection as they came to the top of the climb yesterday, and we really saw who the big name climbers were yesterday.
We did, and then we also learned a lot about what a headwind coming down Independence Pass does. It was very interesting to see how many riders came back into that group. Remember the moment when Lachlan Morton was frustrated after he'd attacked for a second time? Well, that was really, I think, more frustration at the wind than anything else, because there was no man on earth that was going to get away solo out of that group with the headwind that they were racing into. And what happened was riders just kept coming back into that group. Keel Reinen was one of them who got dropped on Independence, and his team was able to pick him up and bring him back down. They were going, I'm hearing now, 68 miles an hour at one point in that group, and that they're going 10, well, maybe not quite 10, 5 miles an hour faster than the guys in that front group that we thought were rolling away with the bike race. Yep. This sport is amazing, isn't it, Brad?
Right. Yeah, it's really just about minimizing your effort off the bike. They always say if you're running, you should be walking. If you're walking, you should be standing. If you're standing, you should be sitting. If you're sitting, you should be laying down. And if you're laying down, you should be asleep.
Well, you took it to a whole new level with that, but you're right.
All the way to the top.
Right. You can never be relaxing enough when you're off the bike.
Absolutely.
And that's certainly, though, and that's another great example. I think for the Peter Stettner story, which is similar to Taylor Phinney, which has been extremely well documented, what Taylor Phinney, kid from Boulder, Olympian, coming back from career-ending injury, doing really well now.
Okay, good.
That's
we got
pretty
that
much
out of the way.
But for Peter Stettner, you've got a kid who basically had something about as similar to Taylor's crash as possible.
Yeah.
Coming back in 4 months instead of 14, Taylor Phinney can walk around. You'd have no idea if you saw him in the mall walking down. You'd think he was fine. When you see Peter Stettner, he can barely climb stairs and walks with a cane.
Yeah.
When he's off the bike, he's in pain still, like an arthritic 80-year-old.
Yeah, the team has been amazed that he's kind of limping his way down to team dinner every day with the cane. We see him here at the Jelly Belly sign-in stage when he makes his way up here. I mean, he's just a couple inches away from crawling up the stairs on all fours. So Peter Stettner certainly doing an amazing comeback racing here at the USA Pro Challenge.
At the Tour of Utah one day, literally, he came on our Jelly Belly stage with a cane.
Yeah.
You know, and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, this guy's going to go ride 135 miles today at an average speed.
On the front.
On the front, exactly. He's the guy hurting other people, and yesterday he did that on Independence Pass. It's as good as it gets when you're looking for storylines here at the USA Pro Challenge. What else has got you excited?
I think Keel Reinen getting the stage win was huge for United Healthcare. We've also seen some great breakout rides from certain riders. My man of the week has been Kyle Murphy. This kid has been awesome for the Caja Rural team.
I will challenge your Kyle Murphy, and I know you're a hipster, man. You used to live in Brooklyn. You're all about the fixie, and he's your kind of guy.
Sure.
Right? So that's how this sport works. You have to find your kind of guy.
Who's your guy?
Well, you remember how much I fell in love with Sergei Tvetkov last year, right? So Sergei still lives in Colorado, even though he's racing in Italy right now, and owns a house there. And there's a kid riding with him on Jelly. Well, no, he used to ride for Jelly Belly, Sergei.
Yeah.
Now, he helped get another kid from Moldova onto that team who's living at his house in Golden, and he's now our Edward Jones Best Colorado rider. Now, he's from Moldova, but he's been in Golden for 8 months now. He has a Colorado driver's license, and he's met the requirements for that, and he is a super cool kid. We had a chance to talk with him on our podcast yesterday, the Endure, Enjoy podcast that Pearl Izumi is doing every day, and it's a fantastic story. And he is living the dream, and he wanted to make sure that everybody at the race organization here in our interview knew what a great job they're doing at the USA Pro Challenge. So I wanted to pass that on to all of our staff who work really, really hard day after day.
Well, Alexander Bracco's impressed.
Yep.
That's all we need.
Yep, they got that kid. So, yeah, and he's going to be one to watch in that jersey. So now help me out, Brad. We saw some changes yesterday, but not in, or we did possibly see a change in our sprint jersey. I'm going to let you look while I thank everyone here in Aspen. As one of Colorado's newest startups in the natural foods industry, Life of Riley Foods offers a unique take on a typical nut butter using only the highest quality nuts and seasonings to offer top quality nutrition. Make sure to stop by for a sample and grab a jar. You won't regret it. Logan Owen signing in. I'm going to take that all. Did you find our answer?
Oh, I did, but we'll talk about that after we chat with fourth place yesterday from the Action Cycling Team, Logan Owen.
Hey, we should just race into the corner because you won that.
yeah. Carried a lot of speed out of the corner, and I figured I might as well go long instead of trying to wait and settle for like a podium. Might as well go long, try to win.
Wasn't that they always say, when in doubt, lead it out, right, in the sport? So talking with Logan Owen, who's been fourth at the World Championships in 2 different disciplines, road racing and cyclocross. Logan, I got to commend you, man. What I hear from USA Cycling is you were one of the riders that collected the points that got America an extra rider, or the 6th rider at the World Championships. That's got to feel great knowing you're already part of the team.
Yeah, it feels great, and I'm excited for Richmond this year, and hopefully we can get a rainbow jersey.
Hey, so nowadays in racing, it's so much more aggressive out there. You guys are so much more ambitious. It doesn't seem like, if I was an old school field sprinter, I think your days are numbered. This sport has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely tough to fight up there, and it's pretty hectic.
Yeah, and do your cyclocross skills pay any advantage to you in a field sprint? I mean, just your ability to bang bars?
Yeah. I'm not afraid to fight for a wheel, and I think it helps out a lot for positioning and getting me up there.
This kid is a honey badger, Brad. He's not afraid of anything. I have never seen Logan Owen afraid. Good luck out there, Logan. Logan with the Action Team. What a responsible young American that we can really count on for a decade of great wins in this sport.
Yeah, Logan will certainly be one of those riders. This one.
Where's my man? Did my man Kevin go by?
Yeah.
Kevin, what are you doing? You're my man now. Kevin de Maasmaker, our Belgian rider. We've been looking for a friend on Novo Nordisk, and you're our guy, for sure. Hey, how'd it go yesterday?
It was not too bad. Once we got up the independence in the end, everybody found their own pace, and it was just surviving, but for me it was okay.
Where in Belgium are you from?
I'm live close to Ghent, but my training area is like the Flemish Ardennes, where you see Tour de Flanders. That's my area where I train most.
I guarantee you there's people who live in Aspen who travel there to watch the classics every year. What do you think many people where you live must look at Aspen and say, oh, that sounds pretty nice? Do you know anybody who's ever been here to ski or visit?
No, most of the Europeans, they go in the Alps for skiing, but I get a lot of reaction of people who's looking this race, and they say, like, I deeply respect how you race on this altitude, because I wouldn't be able to do it. So I think it must look epic for the people watching from Europe and to this race.
Yeah, totally. You know, and Brad was telling me the Alps aren't really that great. I'm just kidding. Hey, thanks, Kevin. Have a great day out there. That's Kevin de Maasmaker of the Novo Nordisk team. Brad, every rider on that team, and you did not say the Alps were not
my
that
problem is
great,
the air's too thick up there.
Yeah.
I like the real thin air that we have here in the U.S.
Yeah, sea level mountains.
Yeah.
So, but every rider on that team riding with type 1 diabetes, it's quite a story. Actually, I saw on the Channel 9 coverage last night, they did a nice feature on Susie Wargen, did a nice feature with the Novo Nordisk team. There's former national champion Kimberly Baldwin walking by, one of our VIP drivers here this morning. She'll be excited the women's race is starting up today, or actually team introductions today.
Yeah,
race starting tomorrow up in Breck.
Yeah, if you're going to be joining us in Breckenridge this afternoon, we certainly invite you to the women's team presentation. It'll be immediately following the podium of our men's race. We're going to roll right into that and introduce all of our teams in the women's edition of the USA Pro Challenge. Well, Kevin touched on a good point about this race. The altitude has really been a story that we've been talking about. Yesterday's stage spent over half of the day above 10,000 feet. So certainly the altitude affecting the riders. In fact, I saw a great tweet from Tinkoff Saxo's Roman Kreuziger in classic broken English talking about how he forgot how tough it is to ride in the high mountains. And Roman having a little bit of trouble. He was certainly tapped as one of the favorite riders coming into the USA Pro Challenge, but it seems like the altitude just a little bit too much for Mr. Kreuziger.
You never really know how the body's going to respond.
Yep.
And a guy like Roman, you know well of a race in Qinghai Lake that goes up to 12,000 feet, but very, very few of the World Tour athletes have ever raced at this altitude. Well, hey, let's grab a word with Chris Putt. Chris had a tough crash at his home race at the Tour of Utah, and it looks like you're doing a lot better now. It's amazing how quickly you guys heal. Hey, so you grew up in Park City. Altitude's kind of your thing, right?
Yeah, so growing up in Park City, and something a lot of people don't know is me and Tanner were actually both born in Breckenridge, where the stage finishes today. So we were born at 10,000 feet, lived at 7,000 feet for the last 20 years or something like that. So, yeah, we tend to do okay at altitude for sure.
And you guys really were a super outdoors family all the way along, weren't you? I'm going to guess that the hand-me-downs of skis and snowboards and all that kind of stuff must have been pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky. I had two older brothers and a little brother who's actually taller than me. So I've been getting good hand-me-downs my whole life. And our parents always kept us outdoors just because when you grow up with four boys, I think it's kind of a bit of a necessity to do that. So, yeah, I mean, we've been running around doing stuff since before I can remember.
We have a great relationship with the Putt family for sure. Brad and I work with Chris's dad, and we were very, very concerned when you crashed. I mean, you went down at, let's say, pretty close to 60 miles an hour, didn't you, when you crashed at the third stage or second stage there in Utah? And, boy, touch and go, huh?
Yeah, that was a really scary crash. I mean, it just, everything's kind of bunched up on those fast, open, like, downhill roads, it just takes a touch of wheels. And, I mean, it looked like Boucher kind of came away with the worst of it. I was lucky just not to break a bone, honestly, going down at that speed. But
did you land on somebody or somebody's bike or the ground?
I hit my teammate and kind of flew into a ditch. So I was lucky enough to fly into some dirt, which is a bit softer than the pavement. So I got lucky in that aspect, I guess.
So you kind of have that moment, don't you, when you see the crashes happening and there's a couple seconds where you try to Tai Chi your way out of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's only like 2 seconds probably, but it feels like forever because you're going down, there's nothing you can do. But at that point, you just kind of tuck and roll and hope for the best.
What I loved, Chris, about you the most at that moment was everybody knew, like, well, we call you Cujo for a reason. You were pissed, man. Like, he wasn't hurt. You were ready to go beat the road up because you wanted to come race here in Colorado so badly immediately that you were out of Utah. It wasn't even funny, and you made it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a long year for me in general. I've had a lot of crashes, a lot of sickness. So when it happened again in Utah, man, it was I was really mad, so I was happy to be able to start here for sure.
So how can we know in Breckenridge today that it was a Chris Putt kind of day? I mean, obviously you're going to be riding for the action team and trying to make things happen. I'm going to guess for Logan Owen or Teo Gegenhardt today.
Yeah, for sure. Teo's up there on GC, and he's been doing really well in the TTs all year. So if we can get him over Hoosier in that front group, just into Breckenridge safe, that'd be great. And then if we can get Logan up there as well, like if we can get Logan over that Cat 2.
He can win.
Oh, for sure he can. That Moonstone climb with it's about a kilometer from what I've heard. I've never actually ridden it, but it's super steep. Like, it's right up his alley. Like, if we can get him to the base of that climb, like, no doubt in my mind he can win.
Hey, write this name down in pen. Chris Putt, ladies and gentlemen of the action team. He's always going to be a rider to watch, Brad.
Yeah, the action team, always impressive. Let's talk a little bit about that squad. It's what we call a development team, basically all young riders, and it's kind of a weird thing. Their goal is to get people off the team, try to get them onto higher level teams, the World Tour teams, or even a Pro Continental ride. So they're all young riders and run by the great Axel Merckx.
It's interesting. I could sense, though, a slight bit of annoyance from Teo when I asked him about signing with Sky, because he's like, this is the team I ride for now.
Yeah.
And he wants to honor these sponsors and all the people that made the commitment, even though they are making this, most of them or almost all of them. I mean, if you look at it, Joe Dombrowski, Ian Boswell, Taylor Finney, this entire generation really, let's keep going. Lawson Craddock. I mean, who am I leaving out right now? The top five.
We'll be here all morning.
Exactly. And these are just the Americans that we're talking about. This is not an American team. It's a team that has riders from all. Ruben Zapunki.
Yep.
There you go. Third place in the stage yesterday.
Yeah, Ruben now riding for the Canada Garmin squad. Another one of those success stories, exactly what you want to see. There's 3 different levels of teams racing here at the USA Pro Challenge. You have your highest level of the sport. That's going to be the World Tour. Below that, you have Pro Continental. It's kind of like your AAA baseball teams. And then you have Continental teams a step below that. And for those younger teams or the smaller teams to be able to race at the highest level here at the USA Pro Challenge is huge.
James Oram joining us, a New Zealander. Hey, why is it that we see so many riders from Oceania up here racing in North America? I mean, if you look at it, if you add up Australia and New Zealand, we're maybe talking, 30 million people, and yet you've got more racers in the World Tour than America does.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit closer to Europe than from home. So a lot of guys come over here, and speaking the same language, it's a bit easier to get into the racing as well.
It seems like do you enjoy the American culture when you're over here? I mean, I know it's a little bit different than home. There's some similarity as well, but do you enjoy your time here?
Yeah, definitely. It's especially in Colorado. It's a beautiful place. How can you not enjoy it?
It looked like you guys have been having a great day over the last, I should say, great month right now with Utah and Colorado going your way. What do you think about today? Looks like another day that the hard men are going to make a mark here.
Yeah. It's a perfect day for the breakaway. Hopefully we can get at least 1 or 2 guys up there, and like Danny yesterday, have another good showing.
With no wind yesterday, James, does that break stay away?
BMC are really strong at the moment, so it's hard to say if it was going to stay away or not yesterday. But today, with the gaps being a bit bigger, it should stay away.
Hey, thanks for taking the time this morning, James Oram. But that's another one of the names, Brad. We went through the whole Jens vote thing forever. So how many people have you told you it's James Oram?
Yeah.
It's James Oram,
Yeah.
just like you thought.
Oram.
Right, yeah.
Just the way it looks.
Yeah. So sometimes the best way to figure out how to pronounce somebody's last name is to ask them.
Yeah, just have them say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jens thing went on
Make
forever.
it easy.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of hold that against Phil.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well,
So, all right, pretty mellow morning here. Everybody has been pretty worn out by the last 3 days of racing. We started in Steamboat with a 100-mile stage.
Yeah.
We've basically been about 100 every day on this race. Today, the longest day at 125. And this is going to be a pivotal day. That Moonstone climb, everything's just going to go ballistic.
yeah, 3 major climbs on the day today. The first one, of course, Independence Pass. It'll be almost the exact same route that the guys had coming into town yesterday. They're going to be leaving town as they go up Independence Pass, and that summit comes only 20 miles in, so within the first 5 miles of racing today, the guys are going to be climbing.
Good morning, Julian. So it looks like your numbers have been through the washing machine already like 10 times. We're only at stage 4.
They have been through the wash a few times. My jersey now has a few little holes in it from the pins.
So Brad and I have a tough enough time getting through this race day after day, making sure you're on time for everything you do. For you guys, it's got to be incredible getting through the week, but Swaneers are absolutely the game changer, aren't they?
Absolutely. I think it's easy for everybody to see the work that we do, but nobody really sees all the work that goes on behind the scenes, and we have a lot of people that are really just busting their butts to get us to where we need to be every day.
We're talking with Julian Kyer from Lyons, Colorado, as part of the Wolf Pack and this whole thing happening in cycling. It's so fun to watch right now. I was going to say that you don't know cycling until you watch a road race from the feed zone and then feed a rider, because that gives you a whole new perspective on what this sport's all about and how you can get through some boring times.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, probably a lot of terror being in that feed zone too.
So nothing, terror, nothing.
Yeah, that pretty much breaks down bike racing in a nutshell.
Right. Pretty much, exactly. Well, hey, good luck to you out there. How's everything been going? I know you're coming back from some injuries yourself, and it looks like you're getting stronger every day.
Yeah, these are, between Tour of Utah and being here at the U.S. Pro Challenge, it's kind of like getting thrown back in the deep end of the pool, but...
and someone shoving your head down, too.
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm feeling better every day, and I'm happy to be here.
Hey, have we ever gone through Lyons, Colorado with the USA Pro Challenge? I know we've come super close. I'm going to guess the Boulder stage in 12, right?
Yeah, the stage that finished in Boulder went through Lyons.
And you raced.
I did. Yeah.
Nothing like that feeling racing through your hometown. You can only imagine what TJ is going to feel like next year here.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a pretty special feeling, and really, there's so many places in Colorado that I think of as home. I grew up, every weekend at Copper Mountain. My dad ski patrolled up there, and so it's fun getting to have all those memories.
Copper Mountain is interesting because Taylor really had a lot of great things to say. All of a sudden, Copper Mountain got a nice ego stroke this week with the USA Pro Challenge, didn't it?
It did. It certainly did. It's changed a lot over the years.
Well, right on. Good luck out there, Julian. We're always pulling for you. Julian Kyer, the Smart Stop team. Yep. You know where Lyons is, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about the number of Colorado riders racing here at the USA Pro Challenge.
It's just the fact that there's a ton in the peloton.
Yeah, I know, and
right?
it's so special for those riders. I mean, you're talking about guys who spend most of their time racing over in Europe. Very rarely do they get a race in the United States, let alone in their home state of Colorado. So for the friends and family that get to see these guys race in person, the USA Pro Challenge is huge.
We've gotten to love this guy, man. Jack Bowbridge signing in now. Good job out there yesterday. That wind, man. It looked to me, nobody really wants to say it. BMC is so strong right now, but I was thinking without that wind, you guys had so much better of a shot, Jack.
Yeah, for sure. I guess you have to talk to the breakaway in a situation like that. BMC have showed that they're obviously the strongest team here, and they got the caliber that they have. 2 or 3 minutes. They didn't panic at all, so there's no point panicking in the break, and we'll leave it at 2 to 3 minutes. And the faster we go, the faster they go. So we just have to wait to the last minute, run into the climb, and a few of us managed to get to the top before they did. And and I guess that's how we ended up in the front group. So overall, the break was good, but BMC just showed they're on another level here.
So, hey, are you now acclimatized? I mean, when you see you riding the way you did yesterday, you have to think that you're pretty much where you want to be. Can you get any more acclimatized?
I mean, I've been here nearly 7 weeks now at altitude, over 2,000 meters. So I guess anything over 3 is going to be hard for anyone. But I didn't seem to handle the 3,000 meters yesterday too bad. So I guess I'm coming around, but it was definitely pretty hard to breathe at the top of that last mountain.
Yeah, I'd still hire you as a Sherpa on K2 at this point.
No, well, I guess today, nah, not today. I guess today I'll try to look after the legs as best as possible, and I think for myself, I'll put my eggs in the basket for tomorrow, and hopefully I can get a result tomorrow, and see where we go from there.
I think it goes without saying you've made an attempt at the world hour record. Someone's saying, you think he's a good time child? I was like, do you think you know anything about cycling?
Yeah, well, tomorrow, I guess, I've been here long enough, and I've spent quite a few years on the extension, so I don't think tomorrow will be anything different to me.
And you got altitude, and you're a good climber now, Jack. So let's watch for a result.
Yeah, well, I think the climbing legs should be a little bit better, but we'll see how it goes.
Thanks a lot, Jack. Jack Bowbridge. Jack came so close, I think within 200 meters of setting the hour record back in January, right after Tour Down Under. I think you and I were live or whatever, texting each other while we were watching that ride. That's one of the great things about the internet, for sure, is the amount of cycling from around the world that you can watch. I think that was, at like 10 at night
Yeah, it was,
Something like that?
it was a weird timing for Americans, that's for sure.
Next day there. But Bobridge is one of the great characters of modern cycling.
Yeah, and had
right
a great
now as
ride
well.
yesterday. Really animated that breakaway, put in a couple attacks, and took some riders with him. It was that group of 3 that was away before they eventually got caught. But certainly no lack of aggression from Jack Bobridge and his entire Australian-based budget forklifts team. They've been racing here in the U.S. for a while, spending the past few weeks here in the United States.
So today's another one. There is no such thing as a transitional day at the USA Pro Challenge, and today brought to us by Lexus. And I think this is going to be the kind of day, Brad, and we say there's so many of these truisms. You're not going to win the race, but you could lose it today. But I think there is going to be an element of winning the race over Moonstone today, because with the time trial coming up tomorrow, there's going to be some guys that want to empty the tank and put people in danger out there today, and Moonstone is going to be frenetic.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be absolutely crazy. If you're not able to join us, certainly watch on Universal.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 big climbs today. It'll be another big climbing day, but I think you're right. We're not going to see much change in the GC. I think it's pretty clear that the GC contenders at this point pretty evenly matched in that front group, and I don't think today's the day where you pick up or lose time. Tomorrow in the time trial, obviously, that'll be a little more important.
What do you want to bet BMC puts them under pressure again today, though?
Of course.
And you're going to see, like Peter Stettner will control it right up to the bottom of Moonstone, and then there'll be just an explosion out of that group, and it wouldn't surprise me. You know what has been very impressive here is the Caja Rural team.
Yeah,
These
absolutely.
guys really are punching above their weight right now.
2 guys in that front group yesterday, a pair of those green jerseys, although one was actually a light blue jersey as our Colorado State University best young rider.
Yeah, that is Hugh Carthy out of the United Kingdom riding in our Colorado State University best young riders jersey. I think dorms are checking in right now.
Yeah, I think it's move-in weekend.
Yeah, we have Chandler Burrell, who's with Jim Burrell's son, is actually checking in at CSU. This is not a joke, literally today. So, hey, quick word, Hugh. Looked like another good day for you out there yesterday. Are you surprised at all how well you're doing at the incredible altitude? I mean, you guys didn't go below 3,000 meters yesterday.
No, it was a hard day, a very hard day. No, we're happy with the result. Didn't lose any time. Finishing a group quite comfortably in the end, so no, it's a good day ticked off, and another hard day today. So,
yeah, so as you're ticking these boxes out here, is the team helping you do the same to keep this jersey? Or are you guys looking for a stage win, or both?
Yeah, if a stage win, if the opportunity comes about, we'll take it. But the objectives are myself and Jaime in the under-23 classification, and in the overall now, I think they're our main objectives. Follow.
Great, thanks a lot, Hugh. That's Hugh Carthy grabbing a word with the man from the UK. Robin, let me grab a quick word with you. Swarthmore Pride in full effect. You got to feel not a lot of the European World Tour guys have finished college and have a degree. It's got to make you feel a little more confident about where you are in this world. Not only are you winning stages, he won into Crested Butte last year in a solo attack, but you actually have a degree too. So you kind of got your bases covered, man.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to fall back on just in case something in this sport doesn't work out. You know, there's a lot of volatility, a lot of teams that fold and come and go, and you know, there's always someone who's willing to do your job for free. So it's good to know that there's something else hanging back there for me.
I think we can all relate to that, that's for sure. So have you had a chance to look at Moonstone? I was saying that this is going to be quite the moment in the bike race here. You're not going to win the race there, but certainly some things are going to happen.
You could definitely win the stage there for sure. I mean, I think it's 5 minutes from the bottom, 3 minutes from that steep bit, and you know, big explosive effort, and there's a lot of fans, so you can kind of use that to your advantage if you're trying to get away from somebody.
Sounds like kind of in your neck of the woods, Manayunk and Philly, a lot of fans, really steep, really crazy, and if you can just get up there, you might win. Sounds like a good risk for you to take.
Yeah, maybe. I think we'll also be looking for get a little head start in the break, make it over some of those climbs, and try and put some pressure on BMC and maybe see if they start to crumble around the edges a little bit.
I like the way you think, Robin Carpenter. All right, good luck out there to the Hincapie team. Always a pleasure to talk with Robin Carpenter.
Well, looks like Dave has one of our jerseys with him. That's going to be our Lexus green jersey sprint leader.
Well, and the winner, Keel, are you kidding me, of a one-year ski pass?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'll have to get special permission for the team to use it.
Well, hey, we'll work on that for you. But, hey, this has become your signature stage. I guess it was different when you won here as far as the route, but certainly Aspen's been good to you. Nice to have a relationship with a town like this, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. My wife and I have very good memories here from the last 3 years. And I was actually here 3 weeks before the race for a charity ride, and just had a great time. So we love being in Aspen, and I'm so glad the race came back.
Is there such a thing in Kiel? I know you're not a sports physiologist, but is there such a thing as living too high up? I mean, it seems to me like there's probably a reason why TJ Van Garderen lives here.
Yeah, I don't know. My arms were going numb on Independence Pass yesterday. I don't think that's healthy, but it's definitely an awesome place to train and ride and hang out.
Hey, what has it been like on climbs like Independence? It looks like the number of costumes and the characters and the vibe has been at an all-time high, and even a little more insane than normal.
Yeah, I look forward to the crowds here every year, not just in Aspen, but the whole race. Just a lot of support from all the locals, and it means a lot to us, especially those of us from Colorado. This is our home race, and we're here to show off for you guys, and having people to cheer for us is what matters.
This is Kiel Reinen, two-time stage winner here in Aspen last year and this year. Kiel, I'm sure you had to have seen the YouTube video of the guys in the team car with 1K to go. We were laughing at obviously that intensity. Boy, they're sure all in back there, aren't they?
Yeah.
And the language.
Yeah, it's kind of fun because that's something we never see. We don't know what's going on in the car, and for those guys, so much is out of their control in those last few hundred meters. I'm sure it's very stressful for them. It is for us too, but we have an outlet. So yeah, it was a phenomenal day, and a lot of teamwork went into that.
Great. Thanks a lot, Kiel. That's Kiel Reinen in our Lexus Sprint Leaders jersey. Where did Robbie Squire go? Did he really shoot out of here that quickly? That kid has been riding out of his mind, and I wanted to give him some attention today. Just a note, isn't he 5th in GC? Correct me if I'm
close,
wrong.
yeah. He's got to be at least up there in the top 10.
Robbie, unbelievable out there. Robbie Squire, we ran into 2 years ago at Tour of Utah when he's coming back from an injury and looking for a team and trying to figure out if he wanted to stay in the sport. And that kid has made a huge, huge step forward. When Robbie Squire is at World Tour, I'm going to say, remember that conversation, Robbie? I said, hang in there, kid.
That day in Aspen.
I think I bought him a gelato.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, pretty much everybody has checked in. No, actually, that's not true.
Say about halfway through sign-in here on the Jelly Belly sign-in stage. Still yet to see our yellow jersey wearing the Smashburger Race Leaders jersey. That will be Brent Bookwalter.
Will you indulge me in a minute of the Taylor Phinney story?
Have at it.
Why not, huh? So Taylor Phinney has been really the revelation of American cycling, and right now has already worn the leader's jersey here, our Smashburger jersey. Laurent Didier, I think we'll grab a word. Laurent, you come back. Hey, congratulations. Great ride yesterday. Riding into the wind, though. Not so good, huh?
Yes, the wind was a little problem for the downhill, but I was still happy what I did yesterday.
Can you do it again? This was our winner last year into Breckenridge, attacking out of a breakaway. Possible to ride breakaway 2 days in a row?
Possible, yes, but it's going to be difficult, to be honest. And also today is a much longer day and a quite hard start.
Great. Well, good luck out there, Laurent Didier. Brad, I wouldn't count him out, to tell you the truth. Obviously on good form and acclimated. So Taylor Phinney, his mom, the Olympic gold medalist in 1984 in the road race. She was also an accomplished athlete, skating, rowing, you name it. And this story will continue because we got to grab a word with this guy. This was quite a ride yesterday from Lachlan Morton of the Jelly Belly team. Lachlan, we were watching on TV. You saw the frustration. Was that frustration more at the wind than anything else? Because it just looked like you were giving her yesterday.
Yeah, the wind kind of neutralized the race a bit. But Rowan was so strong for BMC. He pretty much shut everything down. But, yeah, we gave it a crack. We'll give it another shot today.
And it's got to be interesting. I mean, you and Rowan about the same age and both Australian, and I'm sure you guys know each other relatively well as just coming up through the sport. And he made comments about, I don't think he was exactly excited to be having to chase you down out there, but ultimately that's the sport when, you're going to war out there day after day. You've lived in Breckenridge. I mean, you know Moonstone. It looks like it suits you well. Are you ready to give it a go today?
Yeah. It's a hard stage. It's long. It's a hard from the get-go, and then Moonstone is just like the icing on the cake. It's really hard. So last time in this stage I was second. So it's a stage I like, and I'll give it a crack for sure.
And you were riding out of the breakaway last year, correct?
Yeah, 2 years ago. I slipped out of the break and took the jersey that day. But a bit different again today. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy it.
We're going to enjoy watching. That's Lachlan Morton, as Lachlan has been one of the main animators. He and Gavin Mannion are tremendous on, well, that whole Jelly Belly team is tremendous.
Yeah, you touched on an important note. Lachlan knows Breckenridge very well. They've been living there for the past few years, an Australian racing with his brother Gus here at the USA Pro Challenge.
What an honor to have Chris Anker Sorensen with us, Giro d'Italia stage winner, and now racing. Your thoughts on being in Colorado above 3,000 meters?
Yeah, it's really, really tough. I suffer like a dog. I cannot breathe, and I think a lot of guys have it like me, but I think also some of the guys living here, they have a big advantage. They're used to living in Boulder, stuff like that, so they are a little bit more used to the altitude.
And your hometown Hamel, correct, in Denmark, which I'm going to guess is about below sea level?
No, it's above. It's like 50 meters above sea level, so 150 feet. So it's a big change for me to be here. I'm not like used to this big altitudes.
How do you like the American culture? The barbecue, the steak, everything here?
Unfortunately, we have to keep lean, so we cannot really dig into it. But it's awesome to do bike racing here. The spectators are crazy. Like yesterday on top of Independence Pass, I was surprised how many people there were, and it definitely helped. I couldn't nearly see out of my eyes in lack of oxygen, but the crowd got me over it.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Chris Anker Sorensen. There, you've got Will Routley with you. Now you got Chris cutting through.
No, I got Will Rowley, our
That's fight racing.
Yeah, KOM leader. You always get cut off in this sport.
Seriously, all the time, right, Will?
It does happen way too much.
Hey, so great job holding on to our Sierra Nevada King of the Mountains jersey, riding for the Optum Kelly Benefits team. That's your MO, isn't it? You guys ride the breakaway as much as any American team, and I know you're Canadian, but as an American team, it seems like that's what you guys do.
I mean, I enjoy it, definitely. Yesterday, I think I really just got lucky. Tried to get in the breakaway at the beginning, and then I really just tried to finish the stage.
What is it like when you start climbing immediately? I mean, that just looks brutal to us. Did you warm up before the stage?
Yeah, I mean, normally you don't see guys on trainers before stages at a long week like this, but there's guys everywhere warming up. You kind of have to. We've had 3 days in a row that start with a giant mountain, so it's just brutal.
And one more.
Yeah, big one today.
Is it true when they say climbing up this side, or do you know climbing up this side harder than the other side?
It's all new to me. This is my first time racing here in Colorado, but looking at it on the descent yesterday, I thought it's not going to be too pleasant.
Hey, are you doing Tour of Alberta?
I am. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that race back home in Canada.
Are you going to bring me some organic garlic?
Yeah, there's no border issues to get it across, so I can bring you a little something.
All right, great. Thanks a lot, Will. Will Routley has a garlic farm with his wife, Shoshana, who will be racing later this week with us. She's also on the BMW Happy Tooth team.
Yeah, we'll be presenting that team later today as we go to Breckenridge. We're going to be doing the women's team presentation immediately following the men's podium.
Great job yesterday. Third place on the stage, Ruben Zapuntke of the Cannondale Garmin team. So close. What did it take yesterday? Was it just the wrong wheel at the wrong moment?
Yeah, well, it was a little bit behind in the last corner, so in last turn. So I came from the behind. I had a high speed, but I was too far behind. So I'm really proud with the third place. So it's good.
Yeah, I mean, you should be. And obviously, I think maybe even more important, Ruben, is that you're getting over these climbs in the first group. That's going to be a big difference maker in the next few years in your careers. I look at the sport now as having this new kind of sprinter, guys like you, guys that can climb as well.
Yes, I really train for that, like to get over the mountains. I actually am a pretty heavy rider, so like with almost 80 kilograms. And yeah, it's nice to see that I can handle the mountains here, so it's nice, yes.
Thank you, Ruben. Ruben Zapuntke of the Cannondale Garmin team. Good morning, Peter. Looking all spry, dancing around. So I think it's going to be probably a while before you're hitting the nightclubs, though.
Yeah, I can chicken dance.
You can do that. Oh, yeah, so arm stuff for sure. Hey, congratulations again. I mean, I know day after day you come on this signing stage and we say, hey, Peter, you were really hurt, and now you're not as hurt, and you're kind of riding on the front. But you took a big pull yesterday. Talk about how much that meant to you personally to be there for the team.
Yeah, instead of just my comeback race was in Utah, and I was just a pack filler there and just trying to finish, and now I'm actually somewhat strong enough to actually contribute to the race and help the guys. So, yeah, and then just doing one quick pull on Independence Pass, starting to string the field out, was former glimpses of my old self. So it's coming.
You know, I think everybody around you would agree that, you know, the physical part of this also goes with the mental component as well. And I can only imagine for you and your wife, Diana, how much more enjoyable this winter is going to be having had this really good fall or late summer.
Yeah, I think she'll be happy when I can finally mow the lawn. So.
That's going to be huge.
Thanks.
Thank you, Peter. Peter Statna checking in this morning. 4 months ago, that crash was considered by a lot of people to be a career ender. Do you think, I mean, at this point now they're so used to it, talking about Peter and Taylor, hearing their story being repeated from town to town that we go to. But these two both have come back from, you know, career ending is not an exaggeration, and thankfully it's not the reality either. But for them to be back racing and as well as they are is even just a blessing.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both new racers. After you kind of confront that idea that you may never race your bike again, you certainly have a newfound respect for the sport when you're able to come back and race like Taylor and Peter have been able to.
I mean, imagine if I told you you'd never get to announce again. All
I'd
of
be
a sudden,
bummed.
today would be, right.
Yeah.
And people
would be psyched. Sounds like people would be really happy.
That backfired on me. Wow.
Now everyone's pointing fingers.
You're right.
That guy. I didn't boo. It was that guy.
All right, so 125 miles. This really is going to take us up and over 400 miles of racing in 4 days here.
Now, I want to go back and talk a little bit about the Sierra Nevada KOM competition. Will Routley wearing the red jersey as our top climber, but he's got a lot of competition. There are 9 riders within 4 points of that jersey for Routley. Will comes into today with 18 points. Then there's a group of 4 with 16 points just behind him. And then another select group with 14. So even over one climb, Will Routley could lose that jersey today. So certainly a tough competition in the Sierra Nevada KOM jersey competition.
Boy, and you got to think, Brad, that it's going to be the same as yesterday. I mean, riders warming up on trainers. With a 125-mile day of racing, it would make no sense that you would need to warm up. But when you've got attacks going from kilometer zero and you need to be in that front group, you already have to have warmed that engine up, or else it's like doing a neutral drop in a 1969 Dodge Dart. It's not going to work out that well.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to tune the body up before you start the stage today. I'm going to guess that's why riders are taking so long today here on the Jelly Belly sign-in stage. Guys are going to get warmed up, come to the sign-in, and then go straight to the line.
My God, can you imagine the fear that would go through the peloton seeing Rowan Dennis warming up? Yeah. And Rowan is a time trialist. You know how to follow procedures, right? Brad was getting on me because I was getting the interviews too quick. I was too excited.
Yeah, it's all about everything lining up perfectly and almost it's doing time trials, like just structuring your race and sitting on your power if you can that day, and hopefully that's enough.
Hey, I heard in the team bus the other day, they said, hey, 325 on the front all day. Should be good to control this. What's the number today?
Depends what the altitude is.
Oh, is that right? We got to factor things in here. It's not so simple, is it?
Sometimes you just go by feel, which means sometimes you're higher, sometimes you're lower. And also the breakaway, that plays a big part. And if they're either going slower or faster, you have to race according to what they're doing.
Talking with Rowan Dennis, who I consider to be the strongest athlete in the sport today. Rowan, when you come to Colorado, are you at all surprised at how well you've been going? I mean, you had a long year already. As a matter of fact, you've had like 2 years in the last year, but you're still good.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. Every time I've been at altitude, I've sucked. And this year, for some reason, I'm just a lot better. I think maybe 2 years on since last time I was here, I'm just a little bit stronger, and I'm suffering, but my body's just physically better.
Thank you. That's Rowan Dennis here with the BMC team. Now, Brent Bookwalter. Brent, it's one thing to get the yellow jersey. It's another to keep it. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, it feels great. Keep the jersey. Huge day to take the jersey. And yesterday, gosh, the team support I had was just really inspiring, and happy to have the jersey for another day.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the story. It really has, is that your BMC team is this band of brothers. That it's really cool to see at the World Tour level that you guys are getting along like a junior team right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just like the good old days when we're young, having fun, just shooting it, having a good time, really. So we're enjoying it.
And this would be exactly what we're talking about. Hey, Brent, I'm going to let you go. I know you got a big day today. Brent Bookwalter. And, hey, Taylor, really quick. Taylor doing a lot of photo bombing, Snapchatting. You got it going on. No Snapchatting, I'm sure. Swiping right a lot.
All day.
So, hey, once again, another great day at the USA Pro Challenge. Talk to me, Taylor, about how stoked you are this race exists. I mean, it's in this world, you know, you never know what's going to happen, but timing pretty nice for your career to have the Pro Challenge right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to describe how much this race means to me. My dad and mom got to race in the Coors Classic back in the 80s. And yeah, I never grown up racing as a junior, as an under 23. We never had a race in Colorado that was, you know, this big. So for this to come around and be in its 5th year now and going strong and, you know, having such a great crowd every day, you know, I couldn't really ask for more.
We couldn't ask for more from this man. Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Phinney. 2-time U23 Paris-Roubaix winner. That's my new one. I'm getting away. The Olympian and world champion thing, that was getting all the Roubaix thing is the new thing.
Well, as Taylor signs in, that will be one of our final riders to check in here on the Jelly Belly sign-in stage as we are now inside of 10 minutes to the start of Stage 4, presented today by Lexus as we make the 125-mile journey from Aspen to Breckenridge.